Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
It is the Thrive Time Show. Let your boo begin. Where we drop knowledge bombs for you in Portland. Teaching the proven systems to make your ends. So you can produce the greenery like all the Oregon. Suit will call you Franklin because you got Benjamins. We'll call you Ben Pearl because you just bought a Benz. And then you'll be bragging to your wife and kin that your wallet's overweight, but it used to be thin. Comes away, this is Clay, broadcaster with the Zen, with the focus locked in like San Quentin. Can I get a B to the O to the M? You've heard the rumors, he is I and I is him. He be the Z and I be the C. Now it's teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of the show is to help you soar. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year. I'm the husband of one incredible woman. We went on a great date last night. We went to Marshall. I know that you don't really care, but I'm going to tell you because I care.
I do care about your dates.
So we went. Well, I'm just I always try to give you these passive aggressive dating tips that you're not looking for.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about how to practically apply the Purple Cow principles. There's a book called Purple Cow by Seth Godin, which is absolutely a phenomenal book. And we're going to break down how you can totally revolutionize your marketing. But before we do that, I would like to get into the intricacies of my date.
Okay, I'm excited.
So we went to Los Cabos, and we went there, and our waiter was a Buddhist guy.
He was Buddhist?
Ooh. Yeah, now here's what I do. This is my style. This is when I go out to dinner. I say to the waiter, I say, Mr. Waiter, you have a lot of tattoos there. Tell me what they mean. And that was like a 20-minute conversation. And I actually was very interested. He explained to me what this meant and that meant, and he came from a place where he had a lot of pain in his life and a lot of things he'd gone through, and it was interesting. And then I said, so what's your overall philosophy? That you seem like you're a deep guy. He says, Buddhism. And I said, okay. And then we started, I looked for something we had in common, and I found that we actually share certain authors that he likes, that I like, and so we got in a good flow there. We kind of had a Napoleon Hill-esque discussion. We talked about Dale Carnegie, how to win friends and influence people. And then we got to the end of the conversation. He said, it's interesting, you never tried to push your views on me. And I said, no, I just was curious in yours. And he goes, well, I'd like to know about yours. And that's how you do it. But you don't push your views on people and then all of a sudden they get curious about your views. What you do is you have an interest in them, and then they will respond and ask you about their views. That's how it works. So I was asking the guy questions sincerely about his life for probably 20 minutes, and then he's like, well, tell me about your life. And that's how that works. Now, how does this relate to marketing? Well, marketing is a thing where a lot of times we as a company, as a business owner, we're trying to say things, we're trying to push down a message into the throats, into the minds, into the hearts, into the heads of our ideal and likely buyers that they don't care about. Like, we're trying to make them be interested. So what I'd like for you to do, Marshall, because you've been very successful as a business coach. You're the co-author of our Amazon best-selling book, Start Here, which all the listeners can download for free right now, by the way, at thrivetimeshow.com. Think about your clients you've worked with in the past who you helped them define a purple cow that's worked very well. And I want to start with medical. I'd like to go with medical. I'd like to go then with maybe home cleaning. And I'd like to kind of just hop around because this first principle in the Purple Cow book, but written by Seth Godin, the first one, he's quoting David Packard. Now, David Packard, Marshall, I want to put this on the show notes, but David Packard writes, he says, marketing is too important to be left to the marketing department. Again, he says, marketing is too important to be left to the marketing department. So as a business coach, a lot of times you're working with a client and they don't have any leads coming in. And so you sit down with them and you help them develop a purple cow. You help them stand out in the marketplace. You help them develop an offering that the ideal and likely buyers are receptive to. So let's go with the Delricks at first. That's a clinical research, folks.
The first thing is, I think it's the curse of knowledge, okay? The curse of learning, where when I first heard the term purple cow, I had no idea what that meant, okay? And so I had to read Seth Godin's explanation of purple cow.
Please explain to all the listeners out there what a purple cow is and what Seth Godin, how Seth Godin describes a purple cow.
So like on the way to the show today, I do not remember anything about the trip here.
Right.
At all. Okay. Nothing was interesting about it. Okay. It was very routine. There was nothing memorable about it. And I know that between here and my house, there were definitely some herds of cows. Now, if while I was driving by, one of those cows was a purple cow, I'd have to tell everybody about it.
Your curiosity would be piqued.
That might be. It's usually brown cows, maybe some black cows, some white cows.
They were the purple cow the other day. I thought that on
How
the
now
way to
brown
work,
cow?
and I just took a Facebook pictures of it.
That's
I put it
right.
up there. I posted it. And
But if
liked
there
it,
was
and
a
you just
purple
see it.
cow, that is something that is remarkable enough.
Furthermore, other people would pull over and want to see it.
That's right.
All of a sudden, there'd be a line of people pulled over
Just checking out
to
the purple
see-
cow.
Interested in the purple cow.
Right, and this is, and I'm not saying that you should do this. This is just a thought.
Right.
If you are a home developer and you're like, gosh, we're not getting any traffic here. What you could do, don't do this. This is not a tip. This is just an example. You could gather up all of the trees that you knocked down to build that housing addition, and tell us, I can't stand they do it, but they always knock down every tree to build a housing addition. Then they plant these little small trees. But all the trees you knock down, what you could do is you could coat them in like tar. So you get a big pile of them, get a bulldozer, boop, boop, and you get it all, and you get all the lumber there, and you coat it with tar. Then you set that on fire. And everybody would go, oh my gosh, do you smell that thing? Can you see that thing? And everyone would drive by this housing addition and wonder what is going on. Now, that's not the best way to market homes, but you would get their attention.
That's right.
And marketing is first just getting someone's attention.
You know, I really like what you did with the waiter, and most people don't understand this, but the most important person to anyone is themselves. And with that waiter that you were talking about, you gave him the opportunity to talk about himself first. That created a lot of interest in you. But it first came with you showing interest in him. And then all of a sudden, this guy's very interested in what your opinion is.
Right.
And that's how it works. It's so opposite what most people think.
So
So
how do
all
you-
they want to do is talk about themselves.
So how do you do it on a mass scale? How do you do that on a mass scale? Because on a mass level, you want this to happen when I'm not talking, when I'm not personally talking to the waiter. You want this to be turnkey, where this happens all the time while you're sleeping. And this is the power of, once you figure this out, 24 hours a day, you've got somebody talking to the waiter, taking an interest in them. Talk to me about Delricht Research and what kind of a purple cow you help these folks in New Orleans to create.
So Delricht Research, Tyler and Rachel Hastings,
Oh, great people.
they do a phenomenal job down there. They're growing their business like crazy, and so the way that they're able to get patients into their clinic is they offer free medical care, free medication, free assessments. They don't need patients don't need health insurance. They compensate and set up travel for their patients. So if they need help getting to the actual clinic, these are all things that they do as part of their Purple Cow in order to get the patients in.
But
and
they started with they started with you as their coach.
That's right.
And you helped guide them to a deep empathy. And you're asking your client, what do your ideal and likely buyers need?
Right.
What do your ideal and likely buyers want? Talk to me about that.
So this is where we built it up. Is we found that people, all of these benefits, they're excited about that. Okay. But then they needed to get people actually to their appointments. People were setting appointments, but they were not coming to the appointments.
That's weird.
So this is what we did. We actually issued a $20 gift card to Starbucks for just completing your appointment. Just
I'm not
coming
sure
in
what
and
this
getting-
clinical trial is all about, but for Starbucks, I'll be there.
That's right. That's right. And so what they did is they doubled their actual patient show up rate when they did this move. And it's changed the game.
When you said double, it sounded like you say double.
It's like a
Steve, it
circle.
sounded like he say double.
The circle.
The circle double.
The double circle.
Double the circle. No, that's an impressive number.
Right.
Double?
So 2 times. Like one would
One
show
time.
up and now 2 show
To
up.
quote Wycliffe
There you
Jean,
go.
one time. To quote you, 2 time.
2
That's
time.
right.
That's impressive. Okay.
And so the purple cow is powerful. And here's the reason why you need a purple cow within your business.
Come on, baby.
You got to have it. Right now, as a business owner, you can go out and get business yourself. Okay, Warren Buffett,
all by yourself,
billionaire investor. This is what he says. He goes, "I try to buy stock in businesses that are so wonderful that an idiot could run them, because sooner or later one will." What does that mean? What does that mean? That means that the people that you put into position in order to achieve the time freedom that you want, okay, are going to need the resources like a purple cow in order to be remarkable and get people's attention.
I am going to now irritate about half of our clients, but I want half of our people, half of our listeners, half of the folks out there. But I want to make sure you get this. If you look at like a clam and you look at a pearl, the relationship of the clam and the pearl, basically there's a little irritant that gets inside that clam, and the clam can't get it out, and it just, it's so frustrating, and out comes a pearl. That's what happens.
What?
The pressure placed upon the Earth's crust on fossil fuels and various, it just compresses. Boom, coal. Coal is created. It's a thing where sometimes that pressure, if you just, that one extra rep, that's what creates the muscle strength. So I'm going to now irritate everybody on behalf of your wallet. So I'm trying to help you, and this is what we got to understand here. If you are really, really good at cutting hair, or you're a great author, or you're great at making cookies, Steve, if you're great at mortgages,
Kind of.
nobody cares if you can't sell it.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So it's not the best mortgage guy that makes the most money.
Right.
It's not the best author that makes the most money.
Right.
It's not the best cookie queen who makes the most money. Steve, talk about how marketing is absolutely number one priority for you in the mortgage business with Total Lending Concepts.
I used to have a guy that worked for me that would always say he feels like he's the best kept secret. He's the best originator
I just feel like
in Tulsa.
Oh my gosh.
And he would sit at his desk and he would like read guidelines just in case he got a loan that would like meet that.
Interesting.
And I would we would buy, like, this is back in the day, we'd buy the little sticky notes and we'd split a box. So I'd have 250, he'd have 250. Mine would be gone in about 3 days. And I still have some of his sticky notes because he just sat behind his desk. So you're right. You can be very, very talented at your job. And I don't care if you're a doctor or a lawyer or a CPA, whatever, you can get that degree and get that education and get everything. But at the end of the day, you got to go get customers. You got to figure out how to get them in the door.
Now, one thing about being remarkable, Marshall, is people actually have to remark about it. The definition of remarkable is it's somebody who actually it's worthy of attention. It's striking. People remark about it. It's such a remarkable thing. When we come back, I want to talk about remarkable marketing, and I want to talk about the Dental Depot. Ooh. Have you guys seen the Dental Depot?
Yeah.
It's a dentist who's decided to put a train in front of his dentistry. We're going to talk about the Dental Depot. We're going to talk about remarkable marketing. We're going to talk about the sign flipper at 101st and Memorial. We're going to talk about being remarkable. But before we do that, I want to tell you about a company that is remarkable. That's hoodcpas.com. hoodcpas.com. If you're out there and you say, I'm looking for an accountant that's willing to give me an hour of his time before I sign up, just to see if he's a good fit, go to hoodcpas.com. Paul Hood with hoodcpas.com. He's a great American, a good guy. And he's going to give you a free copy of Warren Buffett's only authorized biography, Snowball, and 1 hour of his team's time to sit down with you and help you get proactive about your finances. Check him out today at hoodcpas.com. That's hoodcpas.com.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. Here's the welcome to Thrive Time with Dr. Z and Clay Clark too. They can tell you all of the rules. Passion is a profit, you can work till you drop. Instead of hoping, wishing, thinking when it'll stop. Yeah. Time to face the rise and grind. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
We started from from the bottom, now we're here.
Now we here.
We started from the bottom. Now we're going to show you how to get here. And one way to get here is you're going to get here with remarkable marketing. You absolutely have to have remarkable marketing. And I think that remarkable marketing is something that so many people push back on. And Marshall, this book, Purple Cow by Seth Godin, a man who started a very successful company called Yoyodyne, which he sold to Yahoo. And he ended up working with Yahoo for years, and now he's a best-selling author of countless books. Great guy, great speaker, marketing expert for big brands all across the world. What he talks about is you have to be remarkable. So I'm going to read a notable quotable from his book, and Marshall, I want you to break it down for us. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
He says, on page 3 of Purple Cow, he says, something remarkable is worth talking about, worth noticing, exceptional, new, interesting. It's a purple cow. Boring stuff is invisible. It's a brown cow. Remarkable marketing is the art of building things worth noticing right into your product or service. Remarkable marketing is the art of building things worth noticing right into your product or service, not slapping on marketing as a last-minute add-on, but understanding that if your offering itself isn't remarkable, it's invisible. So, Marshall, break down why it's important to build a purple cow into your business, and give us an example of a client you've worked with that you're happy about the purple cow they've baked into the very DNA of the company. It is a day-to-day, it's a normal thing they do. It's part of what they do. Give me an example of a purple cow.
Okay, so you got to create a purple cow, because if you don't create a purple cow, you're a brown cow, and nobody wants to be a brown cow. That's right. And so one of the
I'm a normal cow.
And so one of the clients that I work with, they do a phenomenal purple cow.
Can I mention something?
Yeah.
Steve, that was an amazing impression of a brown cow.
Thanks. I'm a brown cow.
No, but that was good, because now do an impression of like a purple cow, Steve.
I'm a purple cow.
Now that right there sounded purple.
Yeah.
Could you do a black cow, please?
I'm a black cow.
Could you do a white spotted cow?
I'm a white spotted cow.
Okay, back to you, Marshall. That was impressive.
Can I hear the purple cow one more time?
I'm a purple cow. That's great. That's so good. Okay, back to you,
What
Marshall.
it is.
So this is a client that has done a really good job so far implementing a purple cow into their business. It is Tumble Smart. Tumble Smart.
Tumble Smart.
Yep,
Which is a lot better than tumbling stupid.
That's
Just putting that out there.
that's profound right there,
Pretty
Steve.
deep. Wow.
And so what they do is they do a free assessment for everybody. And so you come in and you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
They do a phenomenal job.
That's impressive.
They know what they're doing. They have facts to back up everything that it is that they're teaching to all of their students and their athletes. And it is just a phenomenal job. And you can go out and try them out for free because they're so confident.
Free?
For free.
But there's a catch.
Yeah, there's a catch where the actual program actually costs something. Which you
that's a
find
bait and switch.
Yeah, that's a bait and switch.
Nasty.
So in order, a selfish scheme to turn a profit, they'll actually charge you something after that first
Let me give
experience.
you two more that are baked in. They're baked in. Two examples that are baked. The purple cow is baked into the service.
Okay.
I think about Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates, my partner.
Yeah.
His optometry clinic. The first exam is how much? How much does the first exam cost, Marshall?
$99.
And that includes what?
You get the free exam
And
pair of glasses.
what? Wait a minute! You're saying, man. You're saying, I was having the. I went to Colorado, man. And I came back with these brownies, man. And it's hard to have a hard time focusing here, man. So you're saying the first exam is how much money?
$99.
Well,
Get one pair of stylish eyeglasses and an eye exam
Man,
for
but
only
how do
$99.
you make any money, man? When you get how do you do it?
How do you do the $99?
I don't even know
exam?
what's going on, man.
Oh, okay. So you got to do the $99 exam.
But that's a great deal.
it's
But
a
is it
phenomenal
tax-free?
deal.
That's a great deal. Every optometrist in Tulsa could do that deal, but they won't do that deal because nobody embraces the purple cow.
But does he change that once a
No,
month,
it's the
or
same
is it a different
freaking
sale?
offer. I don't understand why people don't grasp this. Every week at Elephant in the Room, another example, we do the first haircut is $1.
But you change that up.
No.
That sounds boring.
Hey, let me tell you what I'm going to do. Let me tell you my promotion I'm doing in March, because I've thought a lot about this in the future. Well, in March, we're going to do $1 for the first haircut. Next March. Now, in April, though, Steve, we're switching it up. We're going to do next April, we're going to actually, Marshall, are you ready for this? We're going to do $1 haircut for the first time.
Oh, my goodness.
What had happened is we had decided to do $1. Now, June things are going to change.
But this is you're talking about June of 2019 or 18?
No, it's 28. This is 2023.
Okay. So
big plans.
Oh, so it's like, what, 5 years in the play?
What we're going to do is we're going to do $1 for the first haircut. You know why we do that? Do you know why we do that? Let me tell you about our Purple Cow at Elephant in the Room. This is why guys love it so much. The first $1 that you pay us, do you know what we do with that $1, Steve?
You give it away.
We donate it to the boys' home. And you know why we charge you $1? Because our service is so freaking awesome that I know that if you come and you are an ideal and likely buyer, at least half of you will come back again and be a member. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Go somewhere else. It's cool. It's great. That's why we have thousands of members. It's awesome. But it's $1 for the first time. That's how it works. It's a Purple Cow. Marshall, do you know how we sold out the Tulsa Oilers hockey game?
How'd you sell it out?
Corey Mentor, you're here. You're with Trinity Employment. You're from Oklahoma. Can you explain? Because most of our listeners are we have people in South Korea, California, Florida.
Guam.
Can you explain why people Guam? Yeah. Can you explain why people in Tulsa like to go out to eat?
Well, I would think because they want something to eat and they're hungry.
Well, let me.
That is true.
It goes beyond that. That is a Purple Cow. That is a Purple Cow.
They don't want to cook. No one likes to cook.
This is. Let me tell you, this is an Oklahoma conversation. If you're not from Oklahoma, you need to understand this, and we'll talk more about it when we come back from the break. But in Oklahoma, this is what you do. You say, "Hey guys, what do you guys want to do tonight?" And you go, "Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get something to eat.
I want to go eat."
And then after you get something to eat, you're like, "Well, now we got something to eat. Why don't we go out and get some dessert?"
Oh yeah.
And you go, "You guys want to go out and get some drinks?" Because it's relatively flat.
Yeah.
There's no ocean.
Right.
We don't have a whole lot of tourist attractions. I mean, the sod farm industry is massive. People are traveling from all over the world for the sod farms tours. But people in Oklahoma are looking for something to eat. So when we come back from the break, I'm going to tell you how we absolutely transformed the Tulsa Oilers hockey team. We sold out the arena. We sold out the Bank of Oklahoma Center by developing a Purple Cow and a no-brainer. But before I do that, let me tell you about our good friends at Classic Janitorial. Our urinals are now so clean that on Mondays I use them as a drinking fountain.
So does Chuck.
No. Haven't done that.
That tastes good.
But I've contemplated it. They're so clean. They do a great job. They are the janitorial service of choice for Google, for New Star, for DuPont, for our offices, for Dr. Zellner, Total In Concepts. They're great. Check them out. TheClassicClean.com. TheClassicClean.com. What's that? TheClassicClean.com.
You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrive Time Show.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. 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 This is Clay Clark on the mic again. Myopic focused tunnel vision. I'm focused on the mission to teach you the skills and give you the plans. Broadcasting from my lands to the left, to the Portlands. I'm here to tell you can do it. Yes, you can. And now, my friend, you got two fans. Hit me the Z, comma, and I'll be the C, yes, and now let's kick it like Batman, bam, and get a little nuts like pecans. All right. Welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download. And we're back. And we're talking today about the Purple Cow. Now, what is a Purple Cow?
I'm a Purple Cow!
That is Steve Currington's impression of a Purple Cow. It continues to be very impressive.
Thank you. I'm here all day,
vocal
folks.
inflection, it's amazing.
It just woke up the whole family.
That's a terrible impression of a purple cow. No, here's
upstairs going, what in the world?
Yeah. Right. Now, that's basically what she does all the time. It's like, what are they doing down there? Now, here's the deal. If you're out there and you have a business and you're not generating sales, you need to come up with a way to stand out in a crowded marketplace. You must get the attention of your ideal and likely buyers. And I want to tell you about how we helped the Tulsa Oilers minor league hockey team to actually have sellouts in Oklahoma. They sold out the games. This is what we did. Marshall, you tell me if you like this move. This is Jonathan Kelly's move.
All right.
He says, what if we do 4 tickets and 4 hot dogs and 4 beers for $10. So you go to the game, you get 4 beers, 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs for $10.
Could I take advantage of that deal and just keep the 4 extra seats for myself, but then drink all the beers and
this
the
is
hot dogs
you can.
myself?
I'll invite 0 friends.
And 0 friends.
But then the manager of the team came back and he says, you know what we need to do? We need to let's taper it back a little bit. I don't know if we can do that rich of a deal. Let's come up with a deal that's a little bit more sustainable. I'll put up on the screen here. So this is what it is. Your first game, it's $1 for your first game. So to go to the game, it's $1. It's $1 for the first game, and I'm pulling up on the big screen so you guys can see it. The first game is $1, and then it's $1 for beer night. So $1. It's $1 for your first beer. So that night, if you go to a game, your first beer is $1, your first hot dog is $1, but your ticket is $1. You got it? So it's $1 for the ticket, it's $1 for a beer, and $1 for a hot dog. Marshall, what kind of people do you think people go to a hockey game in Tulsa because they like hockey?
I think they go to the hockey game because
dude, come on,
they like to eat.
Let me tell you this. My wife and I the last time we went to a Drillers game, we went to a game because we kind of have an obligation through a corporate thing, and I said, let's make it our challenge, let's make it our goal to never actually look at the field, like the whole game. Because the only thing I like about the Drillers games is everything that's not happening on the field. Because I'm actually getting as many. I'm actually as active as the right fielder is. Like I'm actually like I'm contributing as much to the outcome of the game as the right fielder. I mean, so we're like, okay, so we're walking by and you have to like cover your eyes. We're like, okay, don't look, because we didn't want to know anything about the game, and that was our favorite game. Because let me tell you what baseball. It's like, all right, it's 2-2 here, 2 balls, 2 strikes in the second inning here. The Tulsa Drillers are playing against the Sarasota Skyhawks, and looks like the pitcher Menendez, he's from Florida. Now in Florida, he steps out on the mound. He talks to the catcher there for a minute. He scratches his balls. His crotch. He adjusts his gear. Now he's jumping back up here. He shakes off the sign. He delivers and fouls it off. Now the batter steps out. The batter adjusts his crotch. The batter adjusts his shin guard, his arm guard, all the guards he has. He adjusts his bat. He puts pine tar on it. The umpire discusses something with the player. The player discusses with the umpire. Meanwhile, we're all in sweltering heat, watching the most boring thing possible. Now, tomorrow we'll be watching tomorrow, if you'd like to improve the level of entertainment in your life, you could go to the paint drying festival. We have that. It's amazing. We have the grass cutting festival. There's many great things to watch, but you are stuck here watching baseball. Baseball. America's game, it's baseball. And
so your opinion of baseball.
In the 7th inning, what we're going to do is we're all going to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. For all that is holy, I swear if this game were any longer, I would want to shoot myself. Back to you. And it's just like every pitch takes forever. It's ridiculous. Put a freaking shot clock on it. I mean, Major League Baseball, this is what's going on. You watch Major League Baseball every year, the crowd's getting older, homies. I'm telling you what, it's going to be hard to get. I mean, maybe you can sell like lifetime tickets to people before they die, and those have a bunch of empty seats. Have you gone to a professional baseball game recently? Have you seen how many empty seats? Have you seen this?
I haven't been.
This is my impersonation of the last time I went to a Texas Rangers game. This was my Texas Rangers game. Steve, have you been to a Rangers game?
Huh?
This is the game.
I have fallen asleep at a game.
All right, go Rangers. Go Rangers. Every one of the fans is like 77 years old. Go Rangers. Yes. What? I mean, everyone's senile. They're old. They don't know what's going on. It's just the sport. I'm telling you, you got to get down to a shot clock. Baseball, they've talked about doing it. You've got to, basketball used to not have a shot clock.
Well, they're implementing a pitch clock, I think, at some point.
That's what I'm saying, but it needs to be like fat. Yes. It's so freaking boring. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've tried to take people. I remember for Farmers Insurance, the top salespeople actually got to go to a Rangers game, and every single person got pissed by the 3rd inning. Every one of them were like, this is terrible. Because it's hot. It's boring. I mean, it literally is. Marshall, have you been to a baseball game?
I've been to a baseball game. It's definitely hot.
Do you find yourself go, wow, this is fascinating. I love how long it takes.
You're not like, this is hot.
Do you like baseball games, Steve?
This is temperature.
Steve, do you
no one does.
Marshall, do you like baseball games?
I liked the baseball games, not for the baseball.
Why?
Because, you got to get
Dollar beer
something to
night?
eat. $1 beer night and a little hot dog.
So
action.
now, Corey, somebody out there is saying, I'm afraid, though, to stand out. Tell us your story about how you used a giraffe to dramatically increase sales at a trade show.
I heard his name was Eileen.
Tell us how you did it.
All right, we bought this giraffe like 6 or 7 years ago, and we were trying to stand out. And I see this.
How tall is the giraffe?
It's like about 8-10 foot tall.
Okay.
Right? It's very, very big. It's a big blow up thing. I've never seen anything so big. But I was concerned and kind of embarrassed to ever put it out, because I was like, people are going to think something weird. And so I didn't put this giraffe out for several years. And then finally one of our staff members was like, let's go put the giraffe out. So we go to this job fair, put this huge giraffe out, and we put this name contest on the giraffe. And I swear to you, Clay, I can't believe it, because you're the one that told me to get something ridiculous. I got
Right.
something ridiculous, didn't put
Right.
it out for years. And so we put this thing out, and we had like 3 new customers come up to our booth wanting to talk to us about this giraffe that they named Eileen because one of the legs deflated and it started to lean over. But we made so much money off of those 3 customers, and those 3 customers would have never come over to us had we not had this ridiculous looking giraffe. I mean, we made a lot of money, and these are customers we still have to this day.
Was it a real giraffe?
On this episode of I Told You So, the Business
Yes.
Coach Show.
On this episode of I Told You So.
No, I'm just telling you, this is on page 58 of the Purple Cow. Seth Godin writes, if the only way to cut through is to be remarkable, and the only way to avoid criticism is to be boring and safe, well, there's your choice. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the Purple Cow and the importance of having a Purple Cow for your business. Also, when we come back, I'm going to tell you about our good friends with Onyx Imaging. If you're out there going to Office Depot every day, spending a ton of money, a ton of time on paying retail prices for office supplies and printer supplies, you want to hear about Onyx Imaging when we come back from the break. Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1, boom! You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrive Time Show.
Thrive Time Show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Sonic Boom!
All right, everybody just now tuning in. We're talking about today how to make remarkable marketing that works, how to generate results with your marketing. And you have to create a Purple Cow, something that's going to make you break out of the norm that most people are experiencing in the marketplace today. Where there's so many marketing messages, there's so much marketing, there's so much advertising, but how do you make your product or service stand out? And Chip, one of your clients is Onyx Imaging. Now, these guys, everybody out there, if you own a business, you got to buy office supplies. You got to buy printer supplies. You got to get that stuff. And it takes time. You got to go to the store, pick it up. And you pay retail prices for your toner. And Onyx Imaging is saying, hey, we're going to pretty much beat anybody's prices.
Yep.
And we're going to deliver the supplies to you. How is it possible they can deliver this Purple Cow?
Systems. They've got systems in place. Their people know in the warehouse where they manufacture their own cartridges. There's a process to how they do it. They have a delivery system in place every day. They load up the previous day before all of the deliveries that have to go out. So it's all about these systems. And the cool thing is they've got a cool Purple Cow, a no-brainer offer going on right now where you can get a free printer for your office. Just a free printer by getting a office supply or printer supply quote from these guys. And certain restrictions apply, but you can get a free copier printer from them just by asking for a quote and signing up with them.
So here is the move. Here is the move from the Purple Cow by Seth Godin. This is on page 15. He writes, here's the move. Because marketers have overwhelmed consumers with too much of everything, people are less likely to go out of their way to tell a friend about a product unless they're fairly optimistic that the friend will be glad to hear about it. So this is why Elephant in the Room does so well. Marshall, could you describe, we're about ready to franchise that thing. We're opening up a store right now in Oklahoma City. It'll be open, I think, in August. We're in the process. The construction starts July 1st. The leases are being signed. Also, we have one in Bentonville going up. We've got them in Dallas going up. A lot of great things are happening. Could you explain why the elephant in the room experience is so different from everything else?
It is different because it's like a country club for men's hair. So
It's true.
The reason why I like going in there is I don't have to wait for a hair appointment. I don't have to deal with the phone ringing off the hook. I get to watch some sports, some ESPN while I get my hair cut. They offer me a free beverage as soon as I walk in. They're expecting me, and then they keep notes on file for how I like my haircut. Not to mention they do the shampoo and the conditioner and the scalp massage and the style at the end of it all. It's a all-inclusive experience for somebody who wants a premium haircut experience. It is awesome, and that's what separates it from your run-of-the-mill other guys.
And what about the first? Steve, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't even get my hair cut. I just go in and get the massage on your head and the paraffin hand wax. I'm like, hey, how many more upgrades can
Steve
I get?
actually showers at home and then goes and gets his hair washed at Elephant in the Room.
Yeah, it's a total move.
But if you think about this, page 30 of the book, The Purple Cow, Seth Godin writes, my goal in Purple Cow is to make it clear that it's safer to be risky, to fortify your desire to do truly amazing things. Once you see that the old ways have nowhere to go but down, it becomes even more imperative to create things worth talking about. One of the best excuses your colleagues will come up with, though, is that they don't have the ability to find the great idea. Or if they do, they don't know how to distinguish the great idea from the lousy ideas. This book isn't long enough for me to outline all these spectacularly successful brainstorming, ideation, and creativity techniques that there are used by companies around the world. What I can do, though, is to highlight the takeaway ideas, the specific things you can do tomorrow to start on your way to create the Purple Cow. If you've got the will, you've got the way. Okay. So, Marshall, people say, gosh, I want to go with a Purple Cow, but I don't know what to do, man.
All right, here's the deal. And this is going to offend at least 2/3 of the people listening.
That's nice. I'm excited about this. This is good. You to offend. That's nice.
Your Purple Cow.
Can I ask you something? Instead of offending me, could you just violate me?
Oh,
no, absolutely.
You got my attention there.
Because when you said offend, I immediately went to violate, and I thought that's nice. That is nice.
We are not doing that.
I don't think you can violate somebody if they're asking for
That's
something.
right.
That's a violation.
Here's the first thing. Your Purple Cow is not customer service. Your Purple Cow is not customer service.
Right. We have the best customer service.
Your Purple Cow is not communication.
Oh, we're really good communicators.
We've been around since 1984.
Your Purple Cow is not professionalism. Our level of professionalism is way above the rest.
Second to none.
On behalf of all the people out there that don't have Purple Cows, I would like to take the mic for a moment and to express what we do. We like to say we're the most professional. We're going to say we've been around since whatever year, like 1984.
Well,
We've been around since
1884.
We like to put on our signs. We like to put like Steve's Sod LLC. Because that lets people know that we are a limited liability corporation. We
limit our liability.
We love to say family owned as if anybody gives a crap. Back to you, Marshall.
And so here's the deal. If you are trying to win on customer service, the only company that I've seen win on customer service and customer service alone is Zappos. And those guys, they have books written about them because of their customer service.
But it's insane.
It is unbelievable.
Their whole idea is to make it's not you. If you're listening out there today, you could not do what Zappos does.
You cannot do it.
I'm just telling you, they're out there. They have a policy where they actually want your calls to take as long as the person wants to stay on the phone. It's just ridiculous. So don't go out there and try to be the next Zappos, because I've never met a client that would be willing to have a call center staffed with people whose number one job is to keep the person on the phone as long as possible.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
That's right.
Chup, I mean, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And one thing is, when you're coming up with your Purple Cow, put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Don't think about it as a person involved with your company. Think about it as a point of view that you have no idea what you do. Is this going to matter? Be empathetic with your ideal and likely buyer when you're trying to come up with this concept for your business.
The reason why I'm so down on the Zappos idea is because they were selling shoes online before Amazon ate everything. And so you're not going to be able to then they had people that were finding them online, and they said, hey, here's the deal. we will ship you your shoes, and if you don't like them, we'll replace them at no cost, no shipping and handling. And if you have any questions about your shoes, give us a call.
Right.
And so that was their differentiator was, hey, we actually will pick up the phone on the first ring. Well, now the times have changed, and Amazon has bought Zappos, and Amazon is top for everything in Google with those kind of products. And I'm just telling you, like, that would not. Now, if you're a plumbing business or any type of company at all, you could make it where you do answer your phone on the first ring, and you could make it where your people are really kind to the people on the phone. But if you're going to like actually pay people to have the longest call possible, I just know for elephant in the room, the phone rings constantly. And we already can't pick up the phone every time it rings. And I would be furious if I had reps on the phone having a 14-minute conversation with a customer.
4-hour conversation.
Right. But the reason why Zappos could do that is they didn't have a lot of calls.
Right.
Because very few people call about the shoes. But in the event they did, they wanted them to be treated like celebrities.
And that's not to say you don't do good customer service.
Right.
But you have to develop a purple cow that people understand and are willing to pick up the phone and call you about before you have to communicate it before they actually do business with you. They have to experience that. They'll get the customer service, but only after you've booked them as a client.
Now, here is a thought that Seth Godin talks about. When we come back from the break, I really want to dive deep into this. On page 58, he writes, if the only way to cut through is to be remarkable and the only way to avoid criticism is to be boring and safe, well, that's quite a choice, isn't it? You do not equal the project. Criticism of the projects is not criticism of you. The fact that we need to be reminded of this point to how unprepared we are for the era of the cow, it's people who have projects that are never criticized who ultimately fail. Think about that. So when we come back, we're going to talk about this concept of wanting to avoid failure at all costs and how that ultimately leads to failure. But before we do that, Chip, I want you to talk about our good friends at Platinum Pest and Lawn. What does Platinum Pest and Lawn have going on? How can they help the great folks out there of Green Country?
Well, they actually are doing free termite inspections right now.
Oh, come on.
And if they happen to find some damage or some bugs in there, they're going to do $200 off your termite treatment. So free termite inspection with $200 off the treatment. You can get a hold of Platinum Pest and Lawn at platinum-pestcontrol.com. Platinum-pestcontrol.com.
Yes, Chuck, what if I have a snake by my lake?
Well,
or
they can take care of that.
Mosquito in my mojito.
They do all kinds of pest treatment. They do lawn service. They do
bees by
mosquito
my knees.
treatment. They get rid of bees for you. I think they've gotten rid of bees for you, actually.
What if I have spiders in my cider?
They don't deal with spiders. No, they'll deal with spiders as well. Any type of bug, pest problem you have, lawn service that you need, call them today, 918-376-0857. 918-376-0857. Platinum-pestcontrol.com.
Nice.
Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
All right, Thrive Nation, we have started from the bottom. Both Dr. Zellner and I started from the bottom, and we've been able to build 13 multi-million-dollar companies. We really want to help you grow a successful company, and today's entire show is focused on how helping you break out of the clutter of commerce. There's so many people out there marketing, pitching ideas, advertising. You can't drive down the road without seeing billboards everywhere. There's signs in the road. There's feather signs. There's Facebook ads. There's TV ads. There's radio ads. There's sign flippers. There's YouTube ads. But there are companies that stand out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 3 examples that blow my mind that work so well as it relates to remarkable marketing. But before I do that, I'm going to read kind of a long passage from page 58 and 59 of The Purple Cow by Seth Godin. And Marshall, I'd like for you to break it down, then I'll get into my examples. He says, if the only way to cut through the clutter of commerce is to be remarkable, and the only way to avoid criticism is to be boring and safe, well, that's quite a choice, isn't it? You do not equal the project. Criticism of the project is not criticism of you. The fact that we need to be reminded of this point points to how unprepared we are for the era of the cow. It's people who have projects that are never criticized who ultimately fail. Will you do some things wrong in your career and be justly criticized for being unprepared, sloppy, or thoughtless? Sure you will. But these errors have nothing at all to do with the ups and downs you'll experience as a result of being associated with the Purple Cow. When you launch a clunker, the criticism of the failure will be real. But it won't be about you, it'll be about the idea. The greatest artists, the greatest playwrights, car designers, composers, advertising, art directors, authors, and chefs have all had significant flops. It's part of what makes their successful work great. Marshall.
Okay, so one of the flops known in the business world, and Jeff Bezos talks about it, is when Amazon developed the Amazon phone. They developed this Amazon phone, and it never took off. It never gained traction. And he goes, "This is just so far out of bounds. We shouldn't have spent as much time and money on it." Okay, and so even the top people, even
Jeff Bezos,
okay, Richard Branson, he talks about going head to head with Coca-Cola, with Virgin Cola. He goes, "Never before will I underestimate these sleeping giants again." Okay, I'll never say that they're too, because they just crushed me with Virgin Cola. So all of these entrepreneurs
like an aluminum can
are exactly what Seth Godin is talking about. Is you can't be afraid of failure. You can't be afraid. You can't be avoiding failure, but rather you have to go to the other end of the spectrum and go get victory at all costs. You have to just go figure out what it is that you're going all in on to go win. And you got to make sure that your Purple Cow reflects that, and you got to put all of the eggs in that basket.
So let me give the listeners out there some examples of companies that really have effective Purple Cows that are in the marketplace that you can see. The first one I want to bring up is Harley. Harley, there's a book called Radical Marketing, Chip. I want to put that on the show notes, called Radical Marketing. At some point, I want to do a show on this, but basically, Harley failed multiple times. And what happened was they were trying to compete with the Japanese efficient bikes, the bikes that sound like this when they're driving. Zzz. That's what they sound like when they drive by. Zzz. And because the Harleys at the time made this sound, but they were trying to replace it with a zzz. And so when they tried to become more fuel efficient, people quit buying Harleys. Steve, do you know anybody who owns a Harley?
Yes.
What do they like about their Harley?
It's loud.
Right.
And they like revving it and really ticking people off.
So after they went into bankruptcy multiple times, the new owner, it was still a Davidson, but he took the company out of bankruptcy, and he says, guys, we need to make these motorcycles less fuel efficient and louder.
Yeah, they get them to where they may literally get like a half a mile to the gallon. They don't care because they're loud.
But this was the thing, is that the previous designers and engineers, they tried to make it more fuel efficient and quieter. Marshall, why was that going to kill the brand?
Because that's not why people buy Harleys. People love it because they like to feel the rumble. And
they want a big bike. Have you ever ridden, Chubb, have you ever ridden like a Japanese bike, one of those smaller?
He has one.
I've ridden them all.
He has a scooter.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. I don't have a scooter. No. Don't listen to Steve.
No, so tell me about the motorcycles. Like, tell me the difference. Like, have you ever ridden like I don't know. I'm not a big motorcycle guy at all.
Yeah.
But what's a top brand that's out there in the marketplace that's a smaller?
I mean, like the Yamaha, Suzukis. Those are all, I don't know a ton about them either, but I have ridden them before.
So talk to me about the Yamaha. I'm going to pull this up on the screen. Here's a Yamaha. Yeah. What makes the Yamaha different from a Harley?
Well, they're, like you said, they're more sleek. They're smaller bikes. They're more aerodynamic. They're called like road bikes, and they're meant for, leaning way over into the turns and trying to go really fast, and that's what those things are for.
So on the show notes, I want to put an example of what a Harley looks like and put that up there versus the Japanese bike like a Yamaha, because it seemed like, Marshall, that the logical move would be to make your motorcycles more fuel efficient and to make them cost less and to be less loud. But that actually killed the company.
It's because they didn't understand fully why people were buying Harleys. Why did people enjoy the brand of Harley? Why did they like that community?
Let's do another one. Let's do this. This one is called the Dental Depot. I love the Dental Depot. Now, the Dental Depot is a company that I love for a lot of reasons. One, because of the trains they put in front of their businesses.
Choo-choo. Which I did find out you're not supposed to get in the train. It's
really?
Not like an actual working train.
Is that a rule?
You tried to climb up on it?
I was just saying the police were a friend of mine. I'm just saying don't try that.
It's a bad deal.
Have you ever been to the Dental Depot, Steve?
I have been by it several times.
How do you know about it?
Because a friend of mine got into the train and got in trouble.
I'm being serious. How did you know about the Dental Depot?
Because it has a giant train in front of it. And you're like, what is that place? There's a train in front, and it even has like the yellow, green, and red light that you would see like at the train track. It has like a giant version of that. A giant one. It's like a real. You would think it's a working train, but it's just like a giant train in front of a dentist's office.
To simmer. I want
marinate.
Some ideas are best if we allow them to simmer, and we think about it, and we take kind of a slower approach. So let's get really meta here for a second.
It's like a good stew, you know.
Let's get really meta for a second. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. Marshall, previous to me talking about the Dental Depot, did you know about the Dental Depot?
Yes.
You did?
Yep.
Okay.
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Chuck, previous to me talking about it, did you know about the Dental Depot?
I did. Yes, I did.
Okay. So here's the deal. If we pull up...
Never been there.
Put this on the show notes. There's the Dental Depot.
Oh, you'll go there now.
I got it on the big screen. The Dental Depot over there at 101st and Memorial. I want to put the link to it so everyone can find the map version. Everybody I know knows about it, but now I'm going to get really offensive. Really offensive, okay? So I'm going to type in the word Tulsa dentist, and I'm going to not say what needs to be said because I don't want to attack anyone. But this person here is somebody that right there and right there. These are people that have reached out to me in the past for me to help them. And they're now ranking high in Google, so they're doing okay. But you guys don't know their name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't mention their name on the radio show, but you wouldn't know their name, right? I mean,
correct.
These names aren't familiar with you. You don't know where they're located, and you can't remember them, but you remember this company. Yeah. This company, the Dental Depot, is printing money. I'm talking about Busta Rhymes' A-Rab money. You ever heard the song A-Rab Money, Marshall?
Yes.
You did? I tell you what, I'm going to play A-Rab Money, just a little clip of it for all the listeners out there.
Can Marshall sing along? Because it sounds like he knows it.
No, because A-Rab Money, it's a politically incorrect idea to mention that somebody's making A-Rab money. But Busta Rhymes, the hip-hop artist, the rapper, he decided to write a song called A-Rab Money. And everyone knows about that song title, even though they might not know the song, because it gets stuck in your head. You're competing for memory in people's head. You're trying to get your idea stuck in their head, and you can't get an idea stuck in your head if your dental practice, if the name of it isn't memorable. You have to have a memorable name. You have to have a memorable idea. You have to have a purple cow, a concept that gets stuck. It's a sticky idea. You can't shake it off. You just can't shake the memories. Without any further ado, here's A-Rab Money by Busta Rhymes.
Sing the hook in Arabic.
We getting that rap money. We getting that rap money. Holla, she get hot, in it falla. Mini high like she in it mala. We getting that rap money. We getting that rap money.
And whether you want it to get stuck in your head all day or not, that song will now be stuck in your head because
you're welcome.
It is a purple cow. Who in their right mind has a business podcast and uses A-Rab Money as an example with which to teach a concept of memorable marketing? I do, and it'll be stuck in your head all day. I'm just telling you, that's what happens. And that's
just like that boom hat and that hoodie that you wear and everything else.
Just like the Dental Depot. It's all about being very, very intentional about your marketing. You have to stand out. So we've talked about the Dental Depot. We've talked about Harley. I want to give the listeners just one more. I want to give you one because I'm trying to make sure that everybody out there leaves today feeling like, okay, I now have a way to do this for my company. I would like to travel to 169 and the Mingo area in Tulsa, mentally, over there across from Best Buy. I can smell it now. Is that, yeah, that's Krispy Kreme. Now, Krispy Kreme, let's talk about those guys. Chup, do they allow you to see them making the donuts?
I believe so. I'm not.
There's a giant glass
conveyor belt and
right. And so you're there when you go in there to buy donuts. You are actually watching them make the donuts in
Right.
front of you. Marshall, have you ever been in there and seen them make the donuts?
More shamelessly, too many times.
Well, you go in there, right, and you watch them make the donuts, right?
Shamefully.
No, but you've seen it, though, right?
I've seen Marshall's car parked there
Marshall,
for hours.
you've
For
seen
hours.
this.
I've seen it.
There's some listener out there who's not seen this before. Why is that different from other donut shops?
It's different because it's an experience. It's not just going in there and buying donuts. It's not even going in there and sitting and enjoying the donuts. But you get to be part of them making it, and you get them hot off the conveyor belt.
In the other places, you don't know what's going on back there.
Yeah, where are you getting these donuts from?
You don't know. They just have a mysterious back area, Steve, where you don't see where the donuts are coming from.
Plus, you get a free one. Like right when you get a free
Right.
hot
But I'm
and
saying
they have
that-
like a step where the kids
They're-
can stand up to be able to
And
see
they
it.
wear those paper hats.
Yeah, you have to wear a paper
The
hat when you're in
entire
there.
business is a purple cow.
I've never not worn a Krispy Kreme hat when I eat a Krispy Kreme donut.
Really?
Ever.
I'm just.
Why would you?
When we come back from the break, Marshall, when we come back from the break, I want to teach the listeners some more purple cows. I want to provide, I'll tell you what, I want to spend pretty much the rest of this show providing people with examples of purple cows because I want to make sure everybody can come up with a purple cow, because once you have a purple cow, once you can stand out in the marketplace, you will make it the money.
Make it a month.
You make it the money.
Make it the money.
People will know you. I mean, the Dental Depot. We all know about the Dental Depot.
You
Why?
get Arab money.
You get ARAB money. That's right. You're getting ARAB money. I'll tell you this. The chiropractor we work with, this guy's getting ARAB money. You know why? Because people love Sibs. People love
right,
Dr.
the Sibs.
Sibley. Dr. John Sibley. This is the chiropractor
kind of a
of
big
choice for Wayne Gretzky.
Come on, the great one.
He's been serving Tulsa for over 25 years. His phone number is 918-749-5741, 918-749-5741. That's Dr. John Sibley. And if you want to go to the chiropractor of choice for a lot of great people, go visit, including the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Go visit drjohnsibley.com.
To claim your tickets to the Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop for free, all you have to do is to subscribe to the Thrive Time Show on iTunes, leave an objective review, and send us confirmation at info@thrivetimeshow.com. To claim your star in the National Star Registry, we can't help you.
All right, Thrive Nation. Every once in a while, a book is written that changes things. A book that is put out there that it changes the way business operates. It changes the way business owners and leaders and managers process things. And some of those books I can think of that are game changers. There's a lot of great books, but the books that really change the game, I think of Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, which taught people the mindset of success. I think about Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which unlocked the secrets of verbal communication. I think about The Ultimate Sales Machine, Chet Holmes, teaching people how to build systemic sales processes.
Yep.
I think about The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, encouraging people to work on your business, not in your business. I think about Winning by Jack Welch, teaching people how to become an effective manager and really getting into candor and why that matters. I think about the Checklist Manifesto, which teaches about the importance of systems and processes and working off a checklist to minimize errors. There are so many great books out there, but the Purple Cow, to me, is probably the one book that everyone needs to read about marketing. So if you're going to read a book about marketing, that's the book you want to read. And I'm going to read you some excerpts from the book, and I'd encourage everybody to go out and buy that book. It's a game changer. Page 61 of The Purple Cow, he writes, "You can't know if your purple cow is guaranteed to work. You can't know if it's remarkable enough or too risky. That's the point. It's the very unpredictability of the outcome that makes it work. The lesson is simple. Boring always leads to failure. Boring is always the most risky strategy. Smart business people realize this, and they work to minimize but not eliminate the risk of the process. They know that sometimes it's not going to work, but they accept the fact, and that's okay." Wow. So, okay, what we're going to do is somebody out there is listening and you're saying, well, this is awesome. These are some great ideas. What I got to do is I got to make a purple cow. And I can't leave you with that kind of vagary. That's what other podcasts might do. I'm not going to give you some vague generality. I'm going to give you specific examples. We're going to go around the table of glory. The table of glory. We have Marshall Morris, the author, the co-author of the best-selling Amazon best-selling book, Start Here, which you can download at thrivetimeshow.com. We have Steve Currington, the bowling ball of mortgages with Total Lending Concepts. He's a top-producing mortgage agent. How long have you been a mortgage banker? How many years have you been in the mortgage industry?
Oh, I think I'm going on 14 now.
Okay, and then we have Eric Chupp, the renowned business coach. And so we're going to go around the table. I'll start with me, and you guys can try to one-up me, okay? So here's my purple cow. Tom's Shoes. It was started by Blake McCoskey. And I want to put this on the show notes, but Tom's actually is in reference to buy a pair of shoes today and we'll give a pair away tomorrow. Tom's Shoes. It's been a great marketing move. People sincerely feel good about what they're doing because when you buy a pair of shoes, they give another pair of shoes away to somebody in need. It's a great way to help other people out, and it's a marketing strategy that's genius. The purple cow was baked into the business. The no-brainer offer was there. I mean, everything needed to move the needle was all baked into that service. That, my friend, is an unbelievable purple cow. Let's go with Eric Chupp. Chupp, what is a purple cow that maybe you've worked with a client on, or maybe one you've been to, like a restaurant or a movie theater, somewhere you go, gosh, that was awesome.
Well, a few months ago, we took our daughter up to Kansas City to go to some museums and kids' science
Going
museums.
to Kansas City,
baby.
Kansas City, here it comes.
At one of the malls or one of the facilities up there, they have a restaurant that's called Fitz's KC. And you go in, you order your food, you sit down, and there's not a whole lot of waitresses. There's a track that runs around the entire around the ceiling of the restaurant, and it's pulled by a train, and the thing actually lowers itself down. A tray sits down on your table, and you pull the food off of it, and everybody has the train conductor hats on. They give them to the kids.
What's the place called?
Fitz'sKC.com. I'll put it on the show notes.
That right there. Did you make that up?
No, it's super cool. It's
Come
fun.
on. That sounds too awesome.
There you go. There it is. There's a link we can look at.
I think it's his restaurant.
What you just said, though, will probably be stuck in my head now.
You're going to want to see it. It's cool.
Because it's unique. I never heard of something like that before.
Right.
No,
which is why you had to have made it up. Put a YouTube link to it as well, because I find myself saying, that's too awesome. It's unbelievable.
We need to see video.
No, but seriously, Marshall, that's where the purple cow is. It's like when people say that's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
I can't believe it.
It's remarkable.
It's remarkable.
Put a link on there right now.
Marshall, one up, Chupp.
Okay, so this is one for all of the contractors out there, okay? So if you're a contractor, this is a purple cow that works. We've implemented this with a number of different contracting companies. But doing an on-time, on-budget guarantee.
But I can't guarantee
That's
I'll be on time or on budget.
If you can find a contractor that finishes on time and on budget, you will have more business than you will ever know what to do with, because nobody can do this.
That seems like a double purple cow.
It is a double purple cow. Yeah. And so then here's a little bonus move for all you contractors. On the second visit or the second day out to a multiple day project, you bring an edible arrangement out with you to the homeowners, and you will win them as a customer for life, and they will tell everybody about it.
Your story's too good. It's unbelievable. I'm going to give you one that's more believable.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Tip Top Canine. Worked with those guys for about 2 years. They've been training dogs for 9 years. The first time they train your dog, if you have a dog and you're listening out there, you have a dog, and you say, my dog is eating all my clothes, my dog is misbehaving, I want to get my dog to be manageable.
Yeah.
I want my dog to be able to coexist with me. Tip Top will do the first lesson for $1. And they're going to demonstrate so much control during that first lesson that a lot of people are going, okay, I'll give it a whirl. That they sign up for the program, but it's $1.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. And you say, but what if it's not good? It's $1. It's a money-back guarantee. It's so good. Steve, what is a purple cow, a no-brainer where you go, man, that's good. That's something you've seen on your, during your time on the planet Earth.
Can I brag on my own company then?
Yeah, do it.
Because Thrive came up with this, so I got to give the kudos to John.
Oh, here we go.
Is our Get Qualified.
Oh.
So we're a mortgage company. We do home loans. And so we started with this Get Qualified. So now we have, actually, I got an application yesterday from a guy in Colorado Springs who's a veteran.
Well, let's make sure we get this. It's Get Koala-fied after the animal, the koala.
That's right.
So cute.
The animal that makes the noise.
Yeah, exactly. So we have radio commercials running. We have all that. And I'm taking this application from this guy, and he goes, I've heard of you guys. I've heard you on the radio. I've heard it. I just think that's hilarious to get qualified. So we have little plush koalas.
Right.
And we have koalas on everything. And then everybody recognizes us as where you get qualified for your home loan.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm not the kind of person who's going to be shamelessly pitching our advertisers. I'm not going to be the guy who's doing that. I'm going to be a guy who's super ultra shamelessly pitching our advertisers. And so we have a contracting company we work with out there. And you might be asking yourself today, gosh, who should we use to do our next commercial renovation? Maybe we need to renovate our restaurant.
Oh, I already know.
We need to renovate our school. We need to build a school. We need to build an office building. We need to build a church. If you have to build a church, an office building, a restaurant, some type of commercial building,
yeah, here it comes.
What company should you use?
What did you
Chuck,
say?
what company should the listeners use?
Well, we definitely recommend the great company over there, Williams Contracting.
What is their website?
Their website is will-con.com. Will-con.com.
What?
You can get a hold of them today, 918-682-5511, 918-682-5511. Renovations, new construction, anything you guys need.
What?
Williams Contracting.
What is their website? What is their website?
It is
did you say?
will-con.com.
What?
Will-con.com.
What?
will-con.com.
That's shameless.
Want to attend the legendary Thrive Time Show Business Workshop for free? Subscribe on iTunes, leave an objective review, and send us confirmation at info@thrivetimeshow.com to claim your tickets. Want to live in a van down by the river? Come by and see us at our Riverwalk offices, and we'll be able to make your dreams come true.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. And today we're breaking down the best-selling book, The Purple Cow by Seth Godin. And what we're doing is we're breaking down the book, teaching the principles. And by the way, I would encourage everybody to buy the book. Chuck, make sure you put on the show notes a link where they can buy the book.
It's right at the top.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, you've got to buy The Purple Cow. It's an awesome book. It's not a very big book. It's a smaller sized book. It's only 208 pages, but it's like smaller sized. And I'm just telling you, got to get the book. It's such a great marketing manual.
That's part of The Purple Cow. It's not the same size as other books. It's different sized. And it's Purple Cow.
It's about how do you stand out in the clutter of commerce. And so I'm going to read here from page 87, Chuck, page 87 from The Purple Cow. He writes here, if you can show up in a parody, it means you've got something unique, something worth poking fun at. It means there's a purple cow at work. The paradox is the same word of mouth that can make your product a huge hit can also lead to someone snickering at you. Most companies are so afraid of offending or appearing ridiculous that they steer away from any path that might lead them to this result. They make boring products because they don't want to be interesting. When a committee gets involved, each well-meaning participant sands off the rough edges, speaking up for how their constituency might not like the product. The result is something boring and safe. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. So this is something I want to share with the listeners out there. We'll go around the table here. Marshall's going to give you another Purple Cow idea from either a client he's worked with or a brand you would know. But I want to just share this idea. When I built my company, DJ Connection, djconnection.com, it still exists today, I bought the Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages were big back when I started the company. I mean, it was 1999, and Yellow Page advertisements were a big thing. So what I did is I made sure that our Yellow Page advertisements had my big head on a small body. So through Photoshop, I made it look like my head was 8 times larger than it should be, and I shrank my body down by about half size too. So it was it looked like a bobblehead doll. And it worked really, really, really well. And then on my ads, my actual text, I said everything my competitor said, but I one-upped it.
You'll one-up her.
So like my competitor said something like, started in 1981. And I put something like passionately conceived in 1979. And then they said over 100,000 songs. And I put like over 100,203 songs. They said like the most professional insured DJ. And they said fully insured DJs. And I put like triple fully insured DJs. And I just went line after line, one-upping them. But my head was massive on the ad.
Yeah.
And then underneath it said, Clay Clark, America's most humble man and the founder of DJ Connection. Now, when you tell somebody you are the most humble man, there's something that happens there. So, guys, this is what's happening. In about 4 months, I'm going to have to start selling franchises. So I've got to work on my new outfit, because I got to get in front of people.
Yeah.
So I'm working on an idea. My wife doesn't like the idea, but I kind of like it. I'm working on it this weekend. We'll see. But it's either going to be a baseball jersey that has the Thrive Time show on it, or it's going to be more of like a dress shirt, like a bowling shirt. That you can be when you're in like a bowling team, or if you're a plumber, it has your name on the shirt. I want to do that, but I want it to say America's most humble man, like my name.
Nice.
Because I feel like if you're talking to someone about investing $100,000 to open up an elephant in the room, or buy a phone doctors or some business, a full package media tip top, when you're sitting there talking to somebody who seems to know what they're talking about at their offices, and you've heard their podcast, and you've bought their books, and you know who they are, and they have a shirt that says America's most humble man, wouldn't that make them smirk?
It's memorable.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think, who in the world says that they are America's most humble man? And I say that all the time to people, because I really do think I am America's most humble man.
What about like the mechanic shirt idea? Same thing, but it's like...
Yeah, I think that's the move, though.
Yeah.
It's like a mechanic shirt. But I
What
think
if you just put have a bite of humble clay? Humble clay.
I don't know that
Humble
suggests
clay
that
pie.
anybody takes a bite out of your body. It just is a marketing move. I don't know if you ever want to use your body to sell, if that's
What
the
if you
move.
just put the name Humble Clay?
So I'm working through it right now. But the Purple Cow will take me a long time to come up with it. But it's just a thing of you have to think about these things.
Right.
And then I'll basically commit to that uniform for a couple years, But I'm just thinking through it right now. But Marshall, think of another Purple Cow. A Purple Cow where you say, gosh, that's good. That is good. Oh, man, that's good.
There's another one. It comes from the book Contagious. By Jonah Berger. He's a psychologist, and he talks about
a professor at Wharton Business College.
That's right. He talks about the $100 cheesesteak at a restaurant called Barclay Prime.
Yes,
and they're like, $100 cheesesteak steak. Who would ever pay for that? But what they do is they actually take lobster tail and they put it on there. They take Kobe beef, they put it on there. They take truffles, they put it on there, and it is a $100 cheesesteak, and it just catapulted them into the viral marketing. It was remarkable. People wanted to know about it,
and no one probably bought it, but they came to the restaurant to see it, and then they bought other stuff.
Check this out. I went out to Amarillo to speak at a church there last weekend. And when I did, I knew about this place. I'll pull it up on the screen.
I know what you're about to say.
It's thebigtexan.com.
Yeah.
And it really, have you?
Yeah.
And it's the home of the 72-ounce steak deal.
I was there that some guy was doing the 72-ounce steak dinner.
Challenge?
You remembered it.
Yeah.
Now, how does that work? It's basically...
It is a full meal. 72 ounces of steak. They do a baked potato. They do salad. They do a drink.
If you eat it, do you get it free?
Yeah.
But you have to eat the whole thing.
In an hour or something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
Chuck, put a link to it on the show notes.
It is
thebigtexan.com. I want to put that on the show notes. All I'm saying is, that is a Purple Cow. Steve, we have time for one more Purple Cow. What's there a Purple Cow that you can think of in the marketplace that stands out? Do you have one, Steve, that jumps out to you?
I got one. If not, I got one. Pitch it to me if you need, Steve.
Oh, come on now. Steve, Chuck, what do you got? Chuck.
All right, H2 Oasis Float Center and Tea House.
Yes.
They're doing a first-time floater and aromatherapy session, normally $85 for $45.
You just said H2
Oasis Float Center and Tea House.
And what do they do?
They do deprivation tank float tanks, and they do tea. And basically, you go in there, and it's an $85 value for an aromatherapy session at their oxygen bar and for your first float. And so they're getting tons and tons. I think they're up to over 450 leads now just from this one Purple Cow that we help them implement.
What about the Keystone Resort people you've worked with there, the Keystone Harbor folks?
Yeah, they had a bunch of new rental equipment, so jet skis, boats, all these types of things, and they didn't know how to market them. So, first rent one jet ski, get one for $1. That thing took off last summer. Nobody wants to go out and rent one jet ski, but they didn't know they could get two. So rent one, get one for $1. It was $1 for your first hour on a rental boat.
Well, let me tell you about
awesome.
Let me tell you about a company out there that is phenomenal. The company, yes, they are sponsors of the show. But he's also a coaching client. He's a friend. His company, it's RC Auto Specialist.
Yes.
His name is Roy. And if you have a Ford automobile, and maybe you need some battery issues to be fixed. Maybe you have fleet service you need, transmission, you need heat and air systems, suspension and alignment, lighting and wiper blades, go to RC Auto Specialist. With over 80 combined years of experience, these guys will absolutely take care of your vehicle. Take care of your vehicle. That's like your vehicle meets a beetle. No, they'll take care of your Ford vehicle. Check them out at rcautospecialist.com. That's rcautospecialist.com. They don't repair vehicles.
3, 2, 1, boom! You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrive Time Show.
Thrive Time Show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Sonic Boom!
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download. What we're doing today is we're breaking down the notable quotables from Seth Godin's best-selling book called The Purple Cow. And The Purple Cow is all about trying to help you stand out in a crowded marketplace. So I'm going to walk you through the purple cows that made some of my companies successful. And so you can hear, specific examples or companies that Z's involved with. Now let's go with the auto auction. What would be the best way that you could describe, Marshall, the energy, the atmosphere, the aura? What makes the Z66 auto auction dominant in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Because they sell 1,000 cars in 3 hours every Friday. Think about that. Every Friday. Think about that. Every Friday. Think about that. 1,000 cars.
Automobiles?
Every 3 hours. Let's look at the math on this. If you had 1,000 cars and you sold 1,000 of them in 180 minutes, that's 3 hours. That means they're selling 5.5 cars per minute.
That's right.
Now, if you think about the minutes have like 60 seconds in them, that means they're selling a car almost every 10 seconds.
Can I just point out that whoever got the half of the car got totally screwed?
Brr. So here's the deal.
Whoa.
So here's the deal. Think about that though. If you had a business where you could sell a car every 5 to 6 seconds.
What if you were Jim Norton Toyota and you were like, yeah, we sell a car.
They're selling 1,000 cars, Marshall, in 3 hours. How does it happen?
So I meant to tell Z this the other day.
I'm gonna eat some beef jerky, so you have the floor.
Okay, check this out. So they're only open 52 days a year, which is crazy to think about.
For like 6 hours at a time each day.
Wait,
that's right.
Like one day.
Yeah. 1 day a week.
1 day a week.
Wow.
Yep.
And so they're open that much time. And then that means that their business hours, okay, obviously they are working all week, but their business hours, they're only open like, what is that, 200 hours a year to the different dealers coming in. And so that thing has to run like a well-oiled machine while you're out there.
Kind of like a car.
Kind of like a car. And
Marshall,
so here's the
not
thing.
a half a
They
car.
serve lunch to everybody.
Here are the things that they do that make them spectacular. One, their lunch is great.
Good.
They come out there, they're like, we'll serve you free lunch. Just come on out. We're going to have a good time. That's the first thing. The second thing, I think this
Dude, they're serving lunch to, hundreds of people.
Yep.
Hundreds of people,
Every
and
Friday.
it's great.
A big buffet. Awesome.
And it is incredibly clean. I noticed this while I was there, but it has like a Disney World like cleanliness about it.
It's kind of like the decor of like a Harley.
Yeah, it's
Like a
decor
Harley
of-
dealership.
Right.
But it is
The cleanliness of
super
Disney.
clean. It is super clean, and this is because all of their employees, all of their team members are going around and picking up trash, taking out trash. It is unbelievable.
Not only clean, but it's also super maintained. There is no
Maintained.
broken thing. There's no broken windows.
What about
no
the
doors.
excitement of the place when they actually sell the cars? The energy.
Oh, those guys out there soliciting the different bids from different dealers.
Go try to follow that.
Yeah. Go try and follow it. But they know their job in and out, and they do a great job over at Z66 Auto Auction.
One way they hype that energy up is they have literally 7 auctioneers on 7 different lanes going at the same time. So you're just surrounded
on
with
PAs.
On PAs, microphones, with speakers. And it is so loud, and it is so there's so much. There's online bidding as well as in-person bidding.
Can we recreate the energy in there real quick here?
Really?
You get your own lane. You got your lane. I got my lane. Your own lane. So you got your own lane. Here we go. We'll go. All right, lane number 1 here. Lane number 1. We're on the Corvette here. We got a 3, 2, 1. We're going to start everything. So, 3, 2, 1. Don't have a buyer here. We got a Ford truck coming through here. 3, 2, 1. Okay. And that's what happened.
Literally about what
that's the whole thing.
All I said was sold the whole time.
You get a car.
You're the best guy out there.
So let me read to you out there. Let me read to you guys out there from page 94 of the Purple Cow. Page 94, 95, 95,
That's why they only do it for 3 hours a week, because you have a week to recover.
Let me read from page 94, 95, 96, 97. Let me read to page 94 of the Purple Cow book, where he writes, he says, the more crowded the marketplace, the busier your customers. The more you need the Purple Cow. Half measures will fail. Overhauling the product with dramatic improvements in things the right customers care about, on the other hand, can have a huge payoff. So sometimes you have a product that the world really doesn't like. And so by making a small tweak to it and making it to be what they want, all of a sudden you can sell a ton of it. And I just go back to the example of Krispy Kreme. I want to read here from page 98 of the Purple Cow, where he writes here on page 98, he says, there are 2 kinds of people. Those who have heard the legend of Krispy Kreme donuts and assume that everyone knows it, and those who live somewhere where the donut dynasty hasn't yet shown up. Krispy Kreme makes a good donut. No doubt about it. Are we all Marshall, are you tracking so far with Seth Godin here? Does this make sense?
Hey, I name a company, and you tell me the Purple Cow, Clay, because this is a local company. So
I have to continue with this.
Okay.
No doubt about it. But it is a donut worth driving, and it says, but is a donut worth driving an hour for? Apparently so. Donut maniacs believe it is, and this is very remarkable. This very remarkable fact is at the core of Krispy Kreme's success. When Krispy Kreme opens in a new town, they begin by giving away thousands of donuts. Of course, the people people most likely to show up for a free hot donut are those who have heard of the legend of Krispy Kreme and are delighted that they're finally in town. These sneezers are quick to tell their friends, and tell their friends, sell their friends, and even drag their friends to a store. So again, you want to create an experience that's so good that has such a Purple Cow to it that people tell their friends about it. And Krispy Kreme does that. But there's not a lot of other companies out there in the world that do it. I mean, in per sector, there's like one brand usually that's killing it, and no one else seems to figure that out yet.
On that note, here, a couple quick action steps for you if you're trying to find out your Purple Cow. First of all, you got to take a red cow and a blue cow. No, I'm just kidding. You need to get out there and look at your niche and your ideal and likely buyers. You got to find out what they're doing. Then you got to see what your competition is doing. Find out what they're doing good. Find out what they're not doing. Come up with that Purple Cow and make it better than the competition.
Now, Steve, you had something you were going to say there. I'm so sorry. I was just trying to finish that notable quotable.
Because in the last segment, Chup jumped in and stole my Purple Cow thing.
Sure.
So I was just trying to get him back. But Quick Trip's a local company.
Right.
And they've got a couple things they did. Years ago, they had guaranteed gasoline.
Right.
Where if you bought gas from them and you had any fuel-related problems with your car, that they would pay to fix it.
Right. Nobody else did that.
And then they're clean restrooms.
Super clean and super fast.
Because guess what? Women want to go there because they're clean.
Think about Dick's Last Resort. It's a restaurant that's you find them in a lot of inner city areas, kind of urban downtown areas. And Dick's Last Resort, their waiters actually make fun of you.
Yeah.
I remember I took a guy there. I've shared this on a previous podcast, but he's a guy from Rhema Bible College, and he didn't know that was the theme. So we take him to Dick's Last Resort after a bridal show that we worked at for 2 days, and the waiter says, "Hey, miss, what drink do you want?" And he's like, "I'll take a water." And he's like, "Sure, I'll get you a water there, lady." And he walks off and brings him back a margarita with an umbrella in it. And so he's like, "I didn't order a margarita." And he's like, Sure, your sister did. She's more of a man than you are. And it's like this whole like just ridiculous. And then they give you hats where they write on the hat a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And you wear these hats.
Like the dunce hat.
Yeah. So what happens is that he decides to pick on this guy because he senses that this guy doesn't get the joke.
Yeah.
And I am not exaggerating. It got to like where they brought up the food, and he's like, he ordered like chicken fingers or something, and the guy brought him hamburgers. And he's like, I ordered chicken fingers. He's like, yeah, you're a numbskull, so I had to order for you. You don't know what's good here. And so he's like, are you kidding me? And he's just like, it's like almost going to fight. And I'm like, dude, the theme of the restaurant is mocking people. And he's like, oh.
I get it.
But he had never been there. But I guarantee you he'll remember the experience. And it's all about creating a memorable experience. That's what a Purple Cow is. If you feel stuck in your business in any way, I absolutely encourage you to buy your tickets for our next in-person Thrive Time Show workshop. The next one is June 22nd and June 23rd. If you'd like to get free tickets, all you have to do is subscribe to the Thrive Time Show on iTunes and leave us an objective review. Subscribe to the Thrive Time Show on iTunes. Leave us an objective review. If you can't figure out how to do it, you can leave us a Google review by typing in Thrive15 and the word Jinx. Leave us a review, and then email us to info@thrivetimeshow.com, and we'll give you those free tickets. Again, just Google search Thrive15 space Jinx. You can leave us a review there. Jinx is Jenks. Or you can go on iTunes, subscribe, leave us a review, and we'll get you those free tickets. We always want to end with a boom. Without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!